Hey, it's your boy Ron Big Black Garrett. I pray that you are well today. I've had so many people ask me about the ketogenic journey and about life things in general, and I felt like it was prudent for me to come and tell you about my why. As I've often said before, you have to find your why when you're doing your health journey or any other thing that you're doing in your life. Well, my why, or part of my why, is because of you. Um, for so many years, I was basically lied to. I was told certain things about health and nutrition. I even followed the general rules and guidelines of so many things that I had learned during my days of bodybuilding and powerlifting because I was just told that it was the truth. And looking back on it now, I see that people really didn't have ill intention towards me. They were miseducated themselves. But for 15 years, I struggled with my health. I struggled with the things that I know now are the complications from high sugar in the body, high insulin in the body, thus leading to diabetes on down the road. But there was also some other things that I did. I made some bad health choices. I smoked. Did a few other things that as I look back on, helped contributed and fast forwarded my diabetes. And when you make those decisions, just eating improper things, eating high amounts of improper things, you know, you can either look back on those decisions with regret, or you can choose to move forward. So I choose to move forward from those things. Um, but what is my why? All of that leads to today. My why is basically you. My why is to use the talents and the gifts and the gift of gab that God has given me to try to help others because He knows that I'm not afraid to get in front of this camera and I'm not afraid to say things that are controversial. Any of you that have ever been on my Facebook page and went back through my history will know that at one time, even when I talked about politics, I talked about racial issues, I talked about all of these different things, that I'm not afraid to be controversial. I'm not afraid to confront the community that I come from, the black community, on hypocrisy that we show in racial issues. I'm not afraid to uh, con- confront racial bigotry. I'm not afraid to confront religious bigotry and religious things, hypocrisy in my community, the Christian community. So it definitely should be a lot easier for me to be the same way when we talk about health and nutrition. And it is because God is the one that brought me to keto through my wife, through some friends at church. One of my pastors, Pastor Scott Silcox, who doesn't do keto for to lose weight necessarily. He does it to manage it also, but he was doing it for health reasons. And um, so that's how my wife brought it to me through him. God used him, and he is a mentor. And she knew that if she mentioned his name, that I would actually take interest in it because I respect him a great deal. And through some other people with their experiences with it, a friend Darla Hall, who you guys are going to get to know pretty soon. She she's just a beautiful young lady who we've had the pleasure to be able to get to know over the years. And her journey is an awesome journey. So, and she's going to be coming up on some podcasts pretty soon, I think. So, so look her up. And she's on Instagram and things like that. And so just be looking out for that also. But, you know, finding out my why has helped me help other people find their why. I do this, like I said, I do this for you. I do this for me also. I do this because God has given me the strength to be able to come on here and talk about these issues, talk about the things that we talk about, that we discuss every day, not in front of the camera. He's given me the strength to want to come and help people, and I'm blessed to be in a position to help people. I'm blessed to be a natural encourager. I try to encourage people in all that they do, but also at the time, I'm also a person that will confront behavior that's not conducive to where a person wants to get. That's that personal trainer side of me. And I'll tell you, hey, don't make excuses about when you're talking about you can't lose weight, but in your secret life, you're sitting up there eating donuts and all of these other things that got you to where you're at. My wife will tell you, I love her, but I confront her when she's eating something maybe she shouldn't be eating. But at the same time, I've learned to let her live her life because it's not all about weight loss. But if you come to me talking about you can't lose weight, um, there's either a metabolic condition underlying that needs to be attended to, or you're eating more carbs than what you think you are. Because I can guarantee you that if you're watching your carbs and really checking your carbs, keeping your carbs at the level it's supposed to be at, and like for me, I have to keep mine very low. I'm almost carnivore most of the time now because I realize that going even above 15 carbs for me um, stalls my fat loss, not my weight loss, my fat loss. Um, so that's one of the reasons that I do this. I also do this because I, I, I see this generation that's coming behind us, and I see that our generation was fat, but the generation behind me is even fatter. I was at a football game the other day, and one thing that this way of life and this way of eating has done is caused me to go and sort of look at, I was checking my time out, sort of look at the next generation. And it's the same parallel that I do with my faith. I look at the next generation. What are we teaching them? What are we passing on to them? We are passing on to this next generation a level of obesity and health issues that's unprecedented. They're not going to be around, and if they are around, they're going to be so unfit and unhealthy and unhappy that it's going to be sad. And they're going to be blaming us. So it's time for us to step out of our comfort zone, start telling kids no. No to sugar, no to all of this crap food, and teach them how to eat whole foods and do what they're supposed to do. That should be our initial and final why. If we don't care about ourselves, let's at least care about the next generation because that's where it's at. We say the same thing in ministry, and I'm saying the same thing on this camera. That's my why. I'm a youth leader. That's my real why. It's because I want to do it not just for me, but I want to do it because I can and for the next generation. And I pray that many of you want to do that. Pass on what you're learning. Pass on what you're knowing. Pray and ask God to give you the words and the wisdom and the guidance to give someone else what's been given you so freely. That's what it's all about. That is what my why is today. It's not complete because, as you know, I try to keep these videos to 10 minutes or less, and I'll be delving into it a little bit more specific things, each individual thing. But for right now, that's a good start. My why is you. My why is your family. My why is your health. My why is your very being because God made you a beautiful creature designed to be healthy. He didn't mean for you to be sick. He didn't mean for you to take all the excesses of the world and cause them to wreck the temple that is called your body. So I pray and hope that it gives you a little insight to why I do what I do. I don't do it for any money. I'm sure down the road I'll have opportunities to get some ad revenue or something like that, but that's not my main concern because I've taken care of myself to get myself in a position financially to where I don't need that. That way I can help people for free and do the things that I need to do. So I love you. God bless you. Have a Jesus-filled day. Peace.